one, go,
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 go indeed.
go.
Yeah. Well, we're back again. All this time later. Des Esseintes, this is well. Who are you this time?
I'm just George.
Hey, it's old George. It's George Shooter Nolan joining us once again on this uh, wonderful time. How are you doing, George? How you been since I last saw you?
Oh, it's been like what, a couple hours. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
recording these in a marathon, like one after the other. I'm
Well,
still
yeah.
I'm still worn I'm still worn out from
That's
the
that's
last session.
that's part of the magic. You don't want people to see how the sausage is made. They're not interested in that. They want to be bedazzled by the fantasy of all of it.
I mean, this podcasting is not easy work, you know. It's hard work, man.
Oh, it is. It is. Yeah, we've been slaving away at it.
Yeah, like I mean, like those people at home listening, they gotta know that, and not just anybody can do it. You gotta be like a special kind of person to
Yeah,
be able
yeah,
to endure this toil.
yeah. We're built different. Our the skin looks like a deer hide. You know, we're just horrible monsters.
Yeah, it's twisted us mentally and physically.
Yeah, yes, it certainly has. Well, let's see. Since we're onto it, there is something in particular that I wanted to discuss with you, but I would also like to find out. Uh, are you drinking anything today?
Oh, just some bottled water.
Oh
But
Lord.
I had some PBR the other day, the other night.
Oh, well,
Yeah, it's some good beer, right?
I think it is. It depends on where in the world you are, but it is technically beer. So I'll give you that.
I
Uh,
mean, it's a craft beer. I decided to go fancy, last night. It's got a blue ribbon,
yeah,
so it has to be good.
yeah. They say they've won an award, and why would they lie?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, if they were lying, then I'll report them to the Better Business Bureau. You know, so
No, I'm sure they have an award. I'm sure they have that blue ribbon for a reason. Somebody felt they were worthy of a blue ribbon. So good. Uh, there's still good things in the world. That's that's a beautiful message.
yes,
Yeah.
just like Pabst Blue Ribbon, which has been recognized with a blue ribbon.
Yeah. They say they've been recognized with the blue ribbon, and who am I to disagree? I'm no, I don't have a big beer company, so I'll believe them. Why not? Um,
All right.
any movies or books or video games or any of that charming stuff?
Uh, nothing really, but I've been thinking a little bit about that. My favorite movie, one of my favorite movies of all time,
What's that?
House of Games.
I'm not familiar.
Okay. Are you familiar with David Mamet?
No.
Are you familiar with Glengarry Glen Ross?
Yes.
Okay, he's the guy who did Glengarry Glen Ross. I think his first film was House of Games, and so the psychiatrist, she somehow falls in with this guy who's a con man and a gambler. It's a really good movie, and he shows her like how like scams work.
Oh, well, that's good to know. They should teach that in business school.
Oh
Um,
yes.
yeah, I think we have an opportune moment to demonstrate as entertainers how skilled we are. You mentioned Glengarry Glen Ross, I believe.
Oh yeah.
I want you to check this out, all right? Mhm.
Oh, Sling Blade.
Oh crap. Which one's Glengarry Glen Ross? I was thinking of Sling Blade. Come on. Come on. Hello? And Shooter has gone to the powder room. So I'm going to pause it. And that was a nice needed break. Do you feel refreshed?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, good.
You should see my restroom.
I'd rather not. Which,
Oh man.
which one am I getting confused with Sling Blade?
I don't know. Like you just did the guttural
No, I know
thing.
what I did, but when I heard Glengarry Glen Ross, I thought of Sling Blade, and I'm not sure why or which one Glengarry Glen Ross is.
Glengarry Glen Ross is the one where it's a bunch of like salesmen who have a competition in order to keep their jobs.
I actually don't know if I've seen that.
But I think I actually sent you a copy.
You
Like
did. I don't know that I've watched it. Does it take place in the 50s?
no, it takes place in the 80s or 90s. It's contemporary, but it does kind of have a like a bit of a noir-ish feel.
No.
You know, it kind of I could see where someone would get the aesthetics like you could say that this person is trying to evoke the 50s in this movie. I can see where someone would get that impression.
Does the main character have like a crew cut and wear glasses?
I I know a couple of them wear glasses. I don't know if any of them have crew cuts though.
I might have seen it once, but no, I
Kevin
don't.
Spacey, he wears glasses, I believe, in this.
Yeah, I can't place any of the actors. So I thought it was Sling Blade, and here I am making a fool out of myself with my uh, impression acumen.
Oh yes. Oh,
Um,
don't worry. I mean, like, you were a fool long before that incident.
truer words never spoken. Well, so you remember that last time, just a few minutes ago, or a lifetime in the life of a shorter lived animal, you gave a quasi religious theory about the world. Do you remember that?
Well, the theory itself wasn't religious, but
Oh yeah, quasi. It was related to religious belief.
yeah, I guess it mentioned religious belief.
All
Sure.
right. Well, see, my point is that I too have a religious type theory.
All right, let's have it.
Did you get that? That was from the official
Oh yes.
podcast soundboard. That's pretty
Oh
good.
yes.
This there's also oh uh-oh uh-oh something's going on. You know.
Yeah.
See they like it. That's pretty good, right?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Uh,
what?
I was gonna say that was your wife on your wedding night, right?
Uh,
Yeah, you can edit out that joke.
well, no, I'll just leave it in. By lowering your social capital, mine raises. So
Uh,
uh, now, if you'll recall, when you were giving your thought, it was a thought that was summoned uh, from the past. Like you hadn't thought a great deal about it, and then you jumped into it. And I'm going to do the same thing, and so I might fumble. And then there's the addition of my mic talks back into my head, so it makes me a little bit disoriented when speaking. So, every excuse to make this seem like a competent thought. All right.
All right.
Now, I don't know, and I would expect that somebody else has come up with this idea, but it is new to me. And just as you thoroughly convinced me of your thought, I am going to labor to convince you of mine. So let's see. Do you know of a person named Blaise Pascal?
I've heard of that name.
Yes. Well, I just have a cursory knowledge of this person, but from the uh, Wikipedia page, just to cover him a little bit, he was a French mathematician, physicist, inventor, philosopher, writer, and Catholic theologian, born June 19th, 1623, and he died August 19th, 1662, at the ripe old age of 39.
Yep.
Yeah, so that fits with what you know. You're the agent of familiarity on this young man. Uh, but what you've heard of, probably, I think this is the most pop thing that he has. How people know him. It's called Pascal's wager. It's a philosophical argument. This is again with the Wikipedia to get an overview. Presented by it posits that human beings wager their lives that God either exists or does not. So basically, if you're hedging your bets, you might as well believe in God, and affirm that however necessary. Because if you're wrong, no matter, no, yeah. So if there's no God, then no matter. But if there is a God, you hedge your bets on that, and you're fine either way. It's just
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that concept.
All right. So my idea is that, and I'm sure there have been hundreds of years of criticism of this idea, so I'm probably just poorly parroting something that somebody else has said. But remember that my own voice, and this is more of an issue today, right now, than it ever has been while doing this. It's making my thoughts mushy, but the basic idea is that if you have what I will refer to as a fear-based religion, and that's a religion where if you do not adhere to it, then you're damned. Uh, and you have that binary choice, either on one hand, there's a fear-based religion that you can adhere to, and if you don't, you're damned. Or on the other hand, that religion is wrong, and there's nothing. So if you have that binary choice, then it makes sense to hedge your bets on that one side. But my position that I am trying to relate is that, well, let's say I've got a thing that I typed out here. If my thoughts are muddled, it was probably less so when I typed this out. I've got this notion that let's see, his basic idea is that it's better to hedge one's bets and believe in God, but that position assumes a binary choice of either believing in God or not believing in God. Given that choice, fair enough, but with multiple fear-based religions, and damned if you don't types, multiple non-fear-based religions, where it doesn't matter whether or not you accept it, and the choice of no belief at all, the hedging does not make sense, since in any option apart from the last, assuming a lack of uplifting cultural support, time is wasted unless you find the exact right fear-based religion. So unless divinity is revealed, or there is some social benefit from being religious. There's no point in being religious because it will turn out to be a waste of time and effort. So um, I was watching a thing where a couple of Catholic monks were reacting to videos, movies with depictions of the devil, and they were saying cutesy things that they thought about it. And these monks were of the attitude that if one does not accept Catholicism in their lives, they would have the opportunity to accept it in the hereafter, which is a little different than I believe they used to say. And there are other religions that have that position. And then there are religions still where it's all part of some spiritual cycle, and it doesn't matter whether or not you adhere to it, because what's going to happen is going to happen anyway, or it is more about goodness than adherence to specific rules. So if the correct religion is one single fear-based religion, as in you join us or you burn forever, there are many of those to choose through, and without a little hint of spiritual magic from the beyond, from Cloudland, then you don't know which one to pick. So you can't really hedge your bets and worship everything. That'd be a waste of time. So, uh, so in the three great groups, there's the full swath of these fear-based religions. There's the full swath of these religions that don't need you to believe in them to be saved or not be damned. And then there's non-belief. It doesn't make sense to just pick from the roulette wheel and live your life for that, because unless you get the exact right one, you're wasting your time, and unless there's some sort of a social benefit that you have from it.
Yeah,
So
but
you get,
I think that's the main reason people do religion anyway, is the social benefits
yeah,
for
yeah.
most people. So
I'm just saying that there's a history of Western religion that's just sort of join us or die. Follow these rules or you get burned up. And I recognize that that's become less common, and it's not like the main reason that perhaps religion came into being, and the force that it uh, applies in human civilization now and throughout human history. I'm just saying that the justification of you're with us so you can be saved, unless an actual representative has given you that information, you've got no real way to pick it out. It's just sort of what is uh, making its way to you through social connections, what you've seen, what's around you. Um, so there's no real way to hedge your bets.
okay,
Uh, that's kind of my,
as Homer Simpson said, like,
yeah.
what if you like were worshiping the wrong god? You just make him madder.
Hmm.
If you have the wrong religion, you just make God mad.
Well, yeah, I would think so. I mean, imagine a lot of these join us or die religions. Um, do you think that they would be comfortable with you worshiping multiple religions at the same time?
No.
No. You remember the Mummy, the movie?
Okay.
And there's that guy that turned out to be uh, like the villainous henchman. And when Imhotep or whatever the mummy rakes up and he's approaching him, he tries to pray at him with multiple talismans of different religions. Um, now, now, if that were allowed, if your archaic fear-based religion type thing were to say, yeah, it's fine, just believe in all the fear-based religions at the exact same time,
I'm pretty
then
sure that's how like some traditions work. I'm pretty sure like especially like in like polytheistic societies like Rome, I'm pretty sure people like worship multiple gods in order to cover the bases.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in that day, you had like it's some sort of aristocracy of superhumans, and it makes sense to appease them individually. And just because God A exists doesn't mean that God B does not exist. You're just sort of picking your patron, and so your average person is going to try to get favor with as many gods as he can.
Well, they multiple gods do exist in Christianity.
How do you mean?
That's why the first commandment says, "Thou shalt not have any gods before me." So there are other gods, but God is the one is the Almighty. He's the top one.
I,
But there
I,
are other gods you could, but it does acknowledge that there are other gods you can worship in Christianity.
I think that would depend on who, which group you're talking to, because I think some of there is just one God, uh, would take that to mean uh, that it's not that there are other gods actually to worship, but you can direct your worship in other areas at God, saying that my religion is the one true religion and there are no others. And then there are some religious groups or Christian groups that might say these things that are presented themselves as God are either the devil or uh, his servants. And I think from an older version of Christianity that was mixing in a social ecosystem with multiple other religions, uh, you would have that where each group is saying that my God is bigger than your God, my God can beat up your God. So I mean that could have been the original thing that came up as when the no gods apart from me thing was around. uh, when it came into being, rather, it was probably competing with a lot of other ideas and was explicitly saying, no, this is
Well,
the idea you want.
they mentioned like other gods like El Shaddai. He's God. Like I think Jacob wrestled him and
I,
became Israel.
I,
Unless El Shaddai was just another word for God. But there's also Baal. They mentioned him. Like I guess Elisha and this prophet of Baal have a competition where they try to burn an altar, and one guy he like calls on the god Baal, and Elisha calls on God in order to do their magic.
isn't Baal specifically considered to be a demon of hell by the
I'm
Catholic Church?
I'm not like a theologian, so I'm not sure, but it
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me.
yeah. I mean, didn't as Christianity bounced along, designate all the other myths and uh, gods as being satanic figures that were trying to lead people away from uh, uh, the the God of the Catholics.
Uh, Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that at some point.
Yeah, I don't know the list of. I don't think Ball was one of the guys in Dante's Inferno. He was in a movie. Was a character in a movie with Anthony Hopkins where he played a Vatican exorcist. Have you seen that?
The Exorcist?
No, no. It's got Anthony Hopkins and he plays an exorcist.
What movie is this?
It's called uh, the the show that people like to watch. Uh, it's it's called Happy Happy Time Happy Times at the Beach.
Not familiar. I don't know this. I don't know that one.
It's all right. Jesus Christ.
What happened?
Well,
What?
one of us had a religious moment.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
when I
Lord.
sneezed, but
Geez, this should be a jump scare warning inserted into this. That was dreadful. That was that
uh,
was bad, and you should feel bad.
well, I feel better now.
Well, then you're not doing it right.
So
Uh,
the movie is called The Rite,
hey, the yep, that's what I just said. You're not doing it the right. Yeah, the right.
the making of a modern exorcist.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, like those, that's exorcism, man. That stuff's real.
As in there are real movies made about. Yeah, there are
I mean,
movies made about it. Yes.
as in like there are people who actually are exorcists, and the problems they solve are real,
Well,
as in supernatural.
they perform exorcism. I'm fairly that that moment that you had not long ago is suggestive of the possibility of possession. Um, I mean, you screamed out of nowhere, and
It
I
was a sneeze.
no, I think it was because you didn't continue after I evoked the name of Jesus. Uh,
uh,
uh, that put a stop to it. So maybe in a way, there's a little bit of exorcism right right here. Is there a good?
uh, I don't think so, but that's I think you're referring to like the belief that your soul exits your body, so that's why you have to say God bless you when people sneeze.
Well, I don't really have on the switchboard like an inspirational moment. There's that's
Yeah,
that's not really appropriate for an inspirational moment.
yeah. But I don't know, like the movie The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the guy who it's based off of, he's still alive and he's still doing exorcisms. And I read an article about him, and it seems pretty convincing, like that there are people who actually do get possessed by evil spirits. Like this, it seems like it's real, man.
I, I mean, you can make anything seem like it's real if somebody wants to believe it. I cannot know that it's not real, but it would not be in line with my understanding of the world. Um, but yeah, yeah. So, do you have any vicious arguments against what I suggested to you about the wager, or have I won you over completely on that idea?
Like no, you haven't won me over, but
What?
uh
So apart from uh, yeah, divine inspiration or the social involvement of community, what purpose is there for choosing a fear-based religion?
I don't like do you think that the main reason people are religious is to avoid going to hell? It's
There
like,
are
I don't know, like
religions that have, throughout their spans, broadcast themselves as this is how you save yourself from burning forever in hell. There are
yeah.
religions that have that rule. There are people who are religious for that purpose. And throughout history, there have been people that have been confined within religious communities for that reason. It's uh, you do this or you are condemned to suffer. Those religions do exist. They have existed, and people have been involved with. But apart from being born into them or needing that sense of community or what have you, like what reason is there to select it. The reason that they offer is this is how you escape damnation. But there are a lot of groups that are saying this is how you escape damnation, and they're conflicting. And then there are religions that say there's no damnation, or you cannot escape it, or you can choose to escape it after you die in the hereafter. You're given that choice, or there's the possibility that there's nothing in the world is as it seems to be, instead of hidden mysteries that we don't have access to, we can't see. So
Were you religious at one point?
no.
No, I see.
Were you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm religious now.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. You're very
Yeah.
religious.
I'm holy. That's
You're holy. Yeah.
yeah.
You're.
At least holier than thou. But
Yeah. No. In the
what I
from
was
A
trying to
to
say
Z
is that
scoring, you are a holy. You know, you're a real a hole. The A stands for ass.
well,
I'm calling you an asshole. You get it?
yeah, and I forgive you because it's part
Oh,
of my religion.
all right, all right. Now, are you religious? Well, no, you'd say some other. What were you saying?
I'm just saying that like in day-to-day life, like most people, the reason they're religious is not really because they're scared of damnation.
Well, yeah,
It's
no,
not
I
it's
said
not like everyone it's not like most people are like cynically like hedging their bets so they can go to heaven. I'm sure like there's a significant amount of people that do that, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like most people are religious just to avoid like hell.
no. I'm not saying they should be. In fact, I had that caveat explicitly. If they get some sort of community from it, this is not applicable. I'm just saying
Well,
specifically.
that's like the main thing for religion is the
Well, no,
community,
I'm not
you know.
talking about
That's
community. In fact, I make the point of saying specifically this is not about community. This is Blaze talking. Uh,
yeah.
he
And he's
says,
probably an autistic, creep.
well, I mean,
He's
I
probably trying to go about his religion the most logical ways. Like he's probably pushing his glasses up, saying, "Okay, it's most logical for me to be a Catholic, so just in case I don't go to hell."
I mean,
But,
maybe haven't you been approached by someone proselytizing and convincing you in their own logic you need to be part of my religion and these are the reasons? Haven't you been approached with that ever?
by people proselytizing in general.
Yeah, any kind of religious missionary or emissary, somebody whose task it is to find people and tell them this is why you need to believe what I believe and do what I need to do. You've been approached with that, right?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
All right, so it's
Yeah.
it's it's not all just some nerd. This seeker part is a major part of a lot of modern religions. It's to encourage conversion.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess no one really, nobody wanted to go to hell if they could like control it.
Yeah, and this guy is saying there are exactly two options. Uh, you know, you can either risk going to hell, or whether you believe or not, you should choose to believe and go through all the things so you don't go to hell. But I'm saying that that doesn't make sense because there's all sorts of options, including fear-based religions like he's talking about. What I'm referring to is fear-based religions, join us or die. There's all manner of religious circles that don't have that aspect, the join us or die thing. And then there's an absence of religious belief. And if one it just picks from the grand roulette wheel, one of the groups that say join us or burn forever in hell, uh, there's no real reason to do that based on the fear choice that they're offering.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm trying to get through. that's what I need you to accept into your heart.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm not smart enough to understand it, you know.
well,
Maybe that's why I'm not an atheist.
well, I wasn't trying to make it. Yeah,
How
you're
about,
making me
let's
look like
use
a
an
real
example.
what?
How about this? Like,
Yeah.
life is like a burning building, and religions are doors, and one of them can lead to the outside, right? So you could either remain an atheist inside the burning building and suffocate to death, or take like Pascal's wager and keep like and try to bust through as many doors as try to bust through a door in hopes that it's an exit to
But
heaven.
in this hypothetical, you're in a burning building. There are a bunch of doors, and a third of them or so say exit on them, but only one of them maybe is the actual exit, and the exit could be in any of the doors that say exit, or that
Yep,
say something else, or that say something else.
exactly.
So, but
So
if you're engaging in a fear-based religion, and like you're, I, I mean, a lot of that stuff does a whole lot of dwelling on how everybody is going to burn, or you need to be very careful, or you're going to burn. It's a lot of uh, uh, self-deprecating activity and thought. I'm sure I know these people. We're doing the same thing. They're my friends. We spend time together. There's a lot of that, but then there's a lot of obsession over uh, harm and harm of others. And there are certain activities like that church that protests funerals, soldier funerals. There's a lot
Westboro
of
Baptist
yeah,
Church.
yeah, there's a lot of antisocial or self-deprecating behavior that are involved with religions who have the creed where join us or burn forever. And it's specifically them. They say that they're the door out of the building, but there are a lot of doors that are saying that they're the door out of the building, and you're just wasting your time if you're choosing through one of these self-harm doors when there are other doors that you could go through, unless you know for a fact that one of those self-harm doors is the actual door to freedom. So if 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 you are making toast for breakfast, and the Virgin Mary is on your toast with a little message saying, "Hey, shooter, uh, this is the right religion. I need you to go out and harass grieving families, or you're going to burn forever in hell." Then that's one thing. I mean, if it were me, I might be skeptical about the toaster, but that would be like some kind of urging toward one of the fear-based religions. But otherwise, you're just sort of picking them out of a hat, unless you're involved for social reasons. The aspect of join us or die is not an adequate draw because so many groups are saying the exact same thing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you gotta choose a door, to get out the building, so you can't
Yeah,
just stay in the flames.
yeah, I suppose. But like in this hypothetical, there are a bunch of doors. Only one of them is a real door. You only
Yep,
get to try a single door. You can't just hedge your bets
yep,
and open a bunch of doors. You have to go through one door. And it could be that any of the doors you open is just to a wall. And it could be that all of the doors are just open to a wall, and that there is no escape from the burning building. So it might be that you just cannot get out.
yeah. But I mean, that's life. You're not gonna know the answers until it's over.
That's it's in line
That's
with
just.
my
I mean, we have to accept that there's like mystery and things we probably will never understand or find out.
yeah, the like perception isn't necessarily reality. It's just what our senses have been worked up to perceive, like color and smell are just sort of anomalies of our own make. But something with completely different senses wouldn't see the same colors or smell the same smells. We have receptors designed to be able to react and interact with the world. So I imagine that there are all manner of mysteries that are simply not open to us or not yet open to us.
Yeah. Well, I just know that like people who tend who to choose religion tend to have better lives and better morals than people who don't. You know, it's it just seems to be better to be religious, at least in life, than to remain ignorant.
Now, there's a couple different points there, so re, religious better than not religious, and then religious does not equal ignorant. Now, I would think that religion would be like an embracing of ignorance in a way, because it's just sort of hearsay based on mystical hypothetical, and even if you think you're wrong, or no, even if you think you're right when you're wrong, you're still ignorant. And so it's not really an embracing of ignorance, it's sort of a denial of ignorance. So a denial of ignorance is still ignorance. So I think you're wrong with the second point, because a person can be religious and ignorant. They know their religion is correct, but there is no way for them to know that other than, they feel it, but all that they can understand is what has been fed into them. That is all the human body can
Okay,
intercept and process.
I misspoke. I used the wrong word. I meant like savage, uncivilized, unenlightened.
How's it enlightened? Like I'm not going to argue against quality of life. I don't know that I would say that religious people are always better off than secular people. I'm uncomfortable making that statement.
I'm
But
saying
to
for the
say,
most part, in general.
yeah, I'm not comfortable making that statement. But you say enlightened.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that needs a little bit more. In what way is somebody who is religious more enlightened than somebody who is not religious? It's a
Well,
pretty.
like it's that they recognize that there's something more out there. It might not be their theory might not be exactly the right one, but they're getting there. They're like
Are you saying that's what all religious
they got
people believe, that they're
what?
getting there, or are
No, I'm
you
just
just
saying
making a
I
judgment?
believe that they're more enlightened than non-religious people because at least they're like on the right track. Like at least they recognize that there's something more out there than just humans or whatever, you know?
I mean, there's an aspect of the secular world which is to try and find out what exists beyond them and document it so that they can have a better understanding of reality. And then religious people, it's just basically somebody says that this thing which you do not get proof of, which other people believe just because they've been told to believe it, and we go and reinforce these ideas with ritualistic community behavior. But we're fine. We understand. We have the answer. We know what the world is about, as opposed to we are actually looking to find out what it's about. It seems like the secular people would be more enlightened than the religious people. It seems like their knowledge and their place would be muted. I'm sure often it's great, but would enlightenment be like having somebody tell you something that you can never verify, and you just believe it, and sometimes you're actively trying to suppress any further information on the subject, is that more enlightened than actively seeking new information?
You can make an argument that it is.
Do it.
I can't. I'm not prepared to do so
I mean,
at this point.
I think I can to a degree, because if you know where you stand,
Yeah.
irrespective of where it is, if you know what you are about and what the world is and what's going to happen, and you have the satisfaction of knowing what we see, the suffering that is real that we experience is not real because of what we imagine to be just beyond it, then there would be a certain peace, EA peace, that those people would have, as opposed to those who do not know, uh, like the satisfaction of believing in magical creatures like Santa Claus. Uh, it it kind of gives you an understanding that there are real things that take care of you that you are never allowed to observe. But if you believe in it, and if you're good in the way that they tell you to be good, then everything's going to be all right. There's a certain enlightened state for that. And they could be right. There could be a Santa Claus, despite it not making observable sense. And there's certainly the idea of a Santa Claus that has possibly some benefits to some people. Uh, there are, uh, there are like Buddhist communities and people that have devoted their lives uh, to versions of that, which seem to me to be more in line with philosophy, even though it has grown into religion, depending on where you go, who seem to have a certain peace of mind in the not knowing, but they know that they don't know. And the restrictions that they place upon themselves are really more to remove desire from their heart so that they can be free of pain and live more at peace. But that's probably a little bit more difficult than just saying this stuff that sounds nice for me and bad for other people is just true. I don't need proof, and I'm just going to ride that wave and feel good about it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're right. I don't want to insult anybody that has the answer, but they're conflicting with other people who have the answer. I'm just saying that fear of hell is not a reason to find that answer, because you'll never pick the right one that will free you from hell. I mean, if if you set out with a group of a bunch of other like-minded people and just sort of divvy out religions, then somebody, assuming that that is out there, that there is a correct fear-based religion, somebody's going to do okay, but everybody else will fail.
Yeah. I guess you could say that.
Uh, uh, hey, let's take a brief break. How do you feel about that?
All right.
All right, we'll be right back. So indeed. So so that was fun, a real learning moment. I thoroughly convinced you of my grand scheme, and that's all I ask really, is to just be be your mentor in this.
Well, I'm just now more religious than ever.
Oh well,
just to spite you. It's just
Oh, well,
I was on the fence before, but now you like pushed me over
well,
into like full on religious nut job territory.
yeah, well, I well, the tree that bears fruit shall be stoned.
Oh, you're trying to come out as someone who smokes marijuana.
I do not.
Yeah.
How dare you? You know.
Yeah.
So, well, that's enough of that. Now, what else? So you've been watching the Sopranos lately, right?
Yes, sir, Bob.
Now, I finished the Sopranos, so not to rub it in, but I won that race.
Well, this is my third rewatch.
Well, yeah, I just had to do it once to get it right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh, how are you liking that old uh, that program?
That yeah, it's probably the best television show that's ever existed.
Now,
I'm I'm not looking I'm not going to watch Many Saints of Newark. That's for
oh,
sure.
I'm not interested. I don't know why. I mean, I know why. You need to make a show based on a property that people are already familiar with because you've already got an established world to riff on, and you've got those
Yeah.
inbuilt fans. So I know why, but it's enough. I think it holds up well, self-contained. I'm not
Yeah.
interested.
Same
Uh,
here.
yeah, if they wanted to do I don't know, a comics series or something along those lines to expand on the world a little bit, that'd be kind of fun for people that like that. But the idea of a TV show trying to capture exactly what uh, the show captured is a little lame.
Well, it's supposed to be a prequel, like where you
Uh,
where you see like the character like the character's parents and stuff like where it's not like it's because you know how why Sopranos is good is because like we love those characters. It's gonna be about the characters as like parents and stuff.
yeah,
'Cause it's set in the '60s, so it's a mostly a different cast.
yeah. I think I saw that they got James Gandolfini's son to play Tony Soprano in the new one. Is that
Yep,
that's kind of fun, I guess.
I guess, but
I
he's no James Gandolfini, and that's like what made the show was his performance.
Yeah, I mean, whether he is or isn't, whether uh, James Gandolfini was still around and they somehow got him to go and reprise the role of a younger him, it's an unnecessary show. His son could be great. It's just it's not necessary. The show does not need to exist.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I know like David Chase is like angry about it.
is
He
he's one
like
of the main writers or creator of the
y-
show?
yeah, I mean he well it's really the release that like makes him angry, not the existence of the movie. Like he made the movie, but he said he wouldn't have done it if he knew they were gonna if HBO was gonna release it the way they did, which was both on streaming and in theaters at the same time.
I thought it was a series. It's a movie.
It's a movie, yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was a whole new TV series.
Nope, just a standalone movie.
Oh, and they're releasing it both in theaters and on HBO.
Yep.
I, all right, I didn't know that. But you say that it's one of the, or no, you said that it is the best television ever made, right?
Yeah, I could say that with confidence.
Now, one thing that we didn't really get proper into leading into a subject that we are probably going to over time dedicated a fair amount of time in are three shows in particular that went off quite well is Farscape, Boston Legal, and The Shield.
Oh yes.
And Now they they don't have the Shield is close, but the certainly Farscape and Boston Legal, they don't really have the heaviness that the Sopranos did. But watching Boston Legal at the time, uh, referring to what was going on in the world and making relevant shows, it was very exciting. It was a very good show for its time. And Boston and Farscape, it shouldn't have left as it did. Have you seen the mini series that's like a long?
Peacekeeper?
Yeah, have you seen the Peacekeeper Wars?
I believe so. What happens in that one?
They kind of wrap up uh, season 4 was left at a cliffhanger, and
With the guy,
no, no,
he
no,
was
no,
like a pilot, right?
what?
And like the very last shot of season 4 is that guy who looked like Ziggy Stardust piloting that ship, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't say it. This will be because we want people to, don't say too much about it. But yeah, that's how it ended, and then it had that moment, and they tried to put it together into the miniseries, and that's not the direction that the show would have wrapped up on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just used your greatest TV ever told, whatever, to slide into to that, and that's a show that they released a series of comics after the fact to explore further storylines. You know that, right?
I own the comics.
All of them?
At least the first. There's like they released the 2 omnibuses. I got the first compilation. They still haven't released the second part.
Are they still actively working on them?
No, I guess there wasn't enough interest in the second omnibus.
Yeah, there was a lot of energy behind getting the show renewed or it doing something. I believe it was a lot of fan support that got them so they could produce Peacekeeper Wars, but it's
Yeah,
like a small rabid fan base.
yeah.
And,
I mean, I think they wrapped up the comics, but yeah, they finished the comics. Like, if you're a true fan, you'd have read the comics because
well,
they wrap up the show on that the right
well,
way, apparently.
I guess I'm not a.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
a poser
it's
saying you're a Farscape fan just for the clout.
I'll I'll never learn.
Yeah,
But
the
well,
social capital that comes with being a Farscape fan.
yeah,
That's what you're in
well,
it for.
that's that's how it works on the pod.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I feel like we've learned a lot about the world and ourselves and each other, and just had a grand old time. What do you think?
yeah. It was all right.
Yes, it was all right.
Like, I didn't get to do my shout outs,
Oh,
but
no, I was gonna lead into that. I would like you to give some beautiful shout outs.
hey, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where you guys at?
They're in
How you doing?
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
That's true. But
That's
I was trying to say that like uh, in a sort of
you want to
jovial way.
amp them up,
It's
right? You wanted
rhetorical.
to.
It's rhetorical.
Okay. Well, ever the fool. Lancaster, Pennsylvania. You're in our hearts, and prayers.
Yep. Praise be.
Praise be, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I bet there's a real good restaurant or a few in Lancaster.
Lancaster?
Yeah,
Oh, if you like pie,
yeah.
that's Amish country. That's what they do out there is pie. If you like pie, go out, I'm pretty sure you'll get you'll get your fill.
So what do? You just go out there and find a an old timey looking house and knock on the door and ask them if they'll invite you to dinner?
Well, they, that could work, but like because they're hospitable people.
Yeah.
They're true Christians. They wouldn't let a stranger go hungry. Well, you can like just
Well,
find a
so
restaurant out
this
there.
is like a life hack that you're offering people. That the Amish
Well,
will just will just feed you.
yeah,
You just go over for dinner.
I
Don't
mean, obviously, like people like you would abuse this.
no.
It's
I
not a life hack.
in fact
You
I
just try to take advantage. You're just taking advantage of the kindness of strangers.
no I would never do that. I don't I don't believe in taking advantage of the kindness of strangers. I think if somebody offers you kindness, you should wonder what it is that they want from you in return and not accept the kindness.
Man, you live in a real dark world. That's for sure.
Well, obviously, yeah. Well, I'm looking for that right door to get out of the burning
Yeah.
building.
Well, all I'm saying is that if you like pie,
Yeah,
you probably can get some good pie in Lancaster.
I I'll make a note of that. I bet
Yeah.
I bet that they have lots of good that you buy from them in shops
Oh yeah.
or at like a swap meet thing, maybe
Oh yeah.
a fair. Don't just go to their houses. Treat them with they're just shout out to the Amish. They're one of
Yeah.
our biggest demographics.
Oh yes. Yeah. To you Amish guys out there listening to this podcast, keep up the good work.
Keep up the good work, guys. We're rooting for you. You
Yeah.
have it. Uh well, all right. That's another pud in the bag, as we say at old Pudcast acres.
Yeah.
It's
It's in the can.
it's in the can. Just a pud in another pud in the bucket of the a bucket of puds. This is just another one of those. And do you have any final thoughts?
Final thoughts? No, I think I said my piece.
All right. Well, to all the, I'm going to give a shout out to all those thoughts out there. That's is it like an ugly word to say? Can you say that?
What word?
Thoughts?
Oh yeah, it's that hoe over there, right?
No. I'm wondering if it has that connotation. Is it like a friendly word or an unfriendly word?
It's like only if you consider yourself one of those. It's kind of like an N-word privilege.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
well, uh, I'm sorry. You preferred uh, designation. Well,
Like
shit. I
like I think it's like it's fine if if you call yourself one of those, but
Yeah.
if you call other people that, that's
Oh,
sort of
well then I was shouting out to George Shooter Nolan, the most energized. In fact, when he gets up every morning, he's like, I'm going to be a internet thought today, and then he runs the
yeah, prefers e-boy or e-girl.
yeah whatever. You're not discriminating. You'll take whatever you can get. Uh,
Oh yeah.
which there's nothing wrong with that. I wasn't trying to. Let's see, and that's another wonderful show. Take care. We love you. We wish only the kindnesses of. Say something, George.
Uh, take care. Stay classy.
Stay
Stay.
classy, you guys.
Yep.